It's always nice for CoinTelevision to be here at the expos and talk to the collectors and dealers. We're going to have a really good show and talk to some interesting people, and especially show you some cool coins. And show me some of the most popular gold coins.
Sure. Right here we have a 2021 gold buffaloes. These are a full ounce, as well as some 1 ounce gold eagles, Austrian Philharmonic, some Canadian gold maple leafs, and some fractional gold eagles as well in the 10th ounce.
So what's the difference in the gold 1 ounces?
So these all here are going to be the pure 1 ounce, 31.1 grams. The gold eagle has a little bit of copper and silver added, so that's a little bit more durable that the US makes.
And why do people prefer a one over the other?
You do have a little bit of savings in going for a 1 ounce as opposed to a 1/10 ounce. So we sell a lot of the fractional size if someone was looking to barter down the road, potentially.
So people think of it as like survival money.
Exactly.
And how about the price of gold?
Oh, well, the price of gold's up this week, so that's helped sales a little bit, kind of brought some interest.
And if a person wants to learn more about gold and silver, how should they do it?
Sure, you are welcome to always reach out to us. We're Erie Gold and Silver. We have a shop in Erie, Colorado. You can also check spot prices. That's a good way to know what it's trading for on the current COMEX market.
How does a person check the spot price?
You can always go on kitco.com to see the current spot price.
All right, and we always ask our dealer friends to have something really cool to show us.
Well, this is a Lesher Dollar. It's not a legal tender dollar, but as part of what's called the so-called dollar group, they have they're rare and very highly collectible. The reference book is called Hibbler Kaplan, and they have some of the history in that book that would inform you of the history behind these dollars. They have history in Colorado.
What kind of value?
Well, this one would be selling for about $3,000. A 1955 penny, which is double struck, just proves that coins don't have to be old to be rare. This coin is not as old as I am. You could see the double striking. It looks very blurry when you look at the coin. It was an air. There were millions of 1955 pennies made, but only a couple thousand made of this variety. So, and this is in fairly high grade, and it has what's called a green bean, the CAC sticker, Certified Acceptance Corporation sticker on the coin, to certify that it is of good high quality for the grade.
For those of our viewers who don't know, why would you certify a coin?
For a couple of reasons. For grade and authenticity. Grade, the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin is. The nicer the coin is. Also, we obviously want to sell genuine coins only.
What kind of value?
This coin is worth in the area of $6,000.
I bought a whole bunch of old silver dollars. These are Morgan dollars, approximately 135 years old, all uncirculated. They never went into circulation. They were predominantly stored by banks and released. All the way through the early 60s, you could find silver dollars if you were persistent enough at face value.
And what's a roll of silver dollars like that worth?
Well, a Morgan roll uncirculated is worth over $1,000, over $50 a coin. And then from there, prices go up depending on the scarcity of the date, the condition of the coin, and the eye appeal.
And can you show us a roll?
Well, here's a number of the rolls that I bought from 1887 and 1885. There were a number of coins that were stored in wrappers such as this. And paper wrappers have a little bit of sulfur in the paper. So what you get When you look on the top of the roll, you often get a real pretty rainbow patina. It's incumbent upon dealers and grading services to differentiate the different types of toning and originality, and of course collectors pay dearly for beautiful coins such as this. A roll consists of 20 coins. As lucky as we are here, the reverse coin is equally beautiful. Now it takes 50 to 80 years to oxidize in this manner. Not all coins that oxidize are pretty. I was fortunate to buy these silver dollars with a number of real pretty wrapper tone coins here. This is a roll I just took out of the wrapper. Here we have a obverse toned 83.0 Morgan dollar, which was set aside in a paper wrapper for at least 50 years, acquiring the beautiful colors. The coins in the middle of the roll, as you see here, are all uncirculated, yet don't exhibit any spectacular colors. And on the end of the roll, there was a reverse tone coin here, which is also an 83.0, that too developed beautiful colors. During the storage time, it was left at the bank.
Well, how about you? Show me some of your favorite coins.
Well, one of the ones I have today, I've been putting together a set of Washington quarters. I got me a PCGS 1932S Washington quarter. It's the second key date in the series. And I've been trying to put a set together like this for some time now. And I picked up a few Lincoln pennies, 66 red Lincolns. I'm putting a set together from 1925 to 1964. And that's pretty much it right now for me today.
How about one from Matthew?
Oh, I've got all kinds.
Here you go, son.
What are some of your favorites?
One of my favorites is the silver Lincoln. I really like it.
Penny.
Yep, still.
Do you know the story of why they struck them?
Because they needed copper bullets, right?
There you go.
Very good, excellent.
Then I like these proof coins.
Yeah?
They're just really shiny and nice.
Why are proof coins struck?
That's a good question.
Want to ask Dad?
Sure.
They're presentation pieces that are specially made by the U.S. Mint. This one came from 1977, San Francisco, and they have a cameo collection of they highly polish it and then they specially strike them with extra pressure. It's a presentation piece of our nation showing our coinage off to the world.
That's what's cool about a dad that knows so much about coins.
That's why I bring him in here, trying to teach him, get him learn. Maybe I can pass on my collection to him.
All right.
Someday.
What's the best part about coin collecting?
The best part, I say the best part's collecting with my dad. It's just us spending time together.
Yeah, I say the same too. I'm trying to make this a tradition to bring my son out and we could look at some coins and learn a little bit about history.
Okay, this is an 1858 seated Liberty half dollar. Not a rare coin. Keep in mind, in 1858, there wasn't many collectors out there. People didn't really care to collect. People didn't have the money to collect. So to see a coin like this, again, not an expensive coin, but in this condition, to me is something special because I always think to myself, where was this coin at? Who had it in their hands? And of course, 1858 was prior to the Civil War. Was this coin put away and hoarded during the Civil War from 1860 to 1865? Was it? I don't know. But I think about things like that when I look at coins like this. Again, a coin doesn't have to be special for it to be expensive. You have to just think of the history of the coin, the condition of the coin. So this coin here, this 1858 seated half dollar, is a beautiful XF coin. The surfaces are all original. It's got no distracting marks. It just has been very well preserved for so many years. So I had to put this coin to the side, put it on the back counter here, because I just love looking at it. Again, we're talking about type coins that are not very expensive, but a really, really interesting part of history. Let me open up this case and show you. So if we look right here, this is an 1804 half cent. Oh my God, that is so cool. George Washington could have had this coin in his hand. And then we continue over, we got an 1820, an 1833, and an 1835, large cents. Another great series are the Barber dimes. Here's an 1892. Again, these are not very expensive coins, but they're nice original surfaces. You know what, if I move down, here's one of my favorite coins right here. These are the bust quarters. Now they made these in two different sizes, large and small. These are the large bust quarters. One of the prettiest coins we ever struck is the Standing Liberty quarters, one of my favorite. And another favorite of mine personally are the bust half dollars, as you can see right here. Got an 1824, an 1827, an 1833, an 1834, another 1834, and another beautiful type coin, U.S. coin, are the Seated Liberty half dollars. We have an 1846 and an 1849 here. So coin collecting is just a great part of our hobby. It's a great part of our history, of our nation and our country. And David, you do a great job showing the people all of this. Thank you.
We ask our dealer friends if you have some really cool paper items to show us.
See, that's the thing about paper. There's so much cool stuff about paper, really cool, interesting stuff about paper, yes. So I've pulled out as many as you want to see, and we can go over them one by one. This is the educational series. This is a part of a very popular series, probably the most popular series from 1896, called the Educational Series. It was replaced 3 years later. Various and sundry stories about why it was, but suffice it to say these had more ink on them than any other notes. This is the $1. It's called History Instructing Youth. Most of the vignettes on notes are taken from very famous paintings, scenes from very famous paintings. So here you can see history, the allegorical figure for history instructing youth. And she's pointing to Washington, D.C. In the background you can see the Washington Monument and the Capitol. And you can read the entire preamble to the Constitution word for word on that. Yes, you take a little kid and you say, can you read this? And he reads it word for word. It's just amazing. Surrounded on the outside are wreaths of about 20 to 32 famous Americans, not all politicians. Longfellow, Poe, Otis, who invented the elevator. Of course, there's Lincoln and Franklin and Washington, and Washington's in the biggest wreath in the center, but famous Americans that you wouldn't have thought about. Then the back shows George and Martha. And the going joke was people didn't like the note because they didn't want anyone to come between George and Martha. Ha ha ha. That's what it is. We used to do very ornate engraving back in the day. Same series, this is the $2 note. This is called the Introduction of Steam. You see the paddle wheel? So this allegorical figure represents steam, because we know that because it's a paddle wheel. The introduction of steam and electricity, and this figure is holding a copper wire, a bale of copper wire. For those of you old enough to understand what that's all about, right? I'm not sure a 20-year-old does anymore. Introduction of steam and electricity to commerce and manufacturing. So this figure has a money bags next to her, so that's commerce. And this figure has a building next to her. So all of these figures represent something. That's the title of the painting for this series. The back has Fulton and Morse on it. Oh yes, you want to see it. Fulton and Morse. So not presidents, Robert Fulton and Samuel Morse to Morse code. And then the third of that series is the $5 educational. And this is called the Introduction of Electricity to the World. So you see this electrical storm, and here's the light bulb. So these are the electrical figures and the light bulb. Now the story is that the reason these notes were discontinued is that the people of Boston got incensed because the allegorical figure had a bare breast. That's the fun story going around. The real story might be a little more boring, like the bankers found it very difficult to count stacks of these because there was so much ink on them, and they would get them confused one from the other, and they wanted a change. So pick whichever story you like. to see who's on the back of that. These are generals. These are Civil War generals, McClellan and Grant. Very ornate. So that's the educational series. Once upon a time, we had extremely colorful notes. These are part of the Rainbow series, and you can see because very bright blue, red, green. And so we call these the Rainbow notes. Very popular, very expensive.
What kind of value?
This is about, depending on the grade, of course, this is now about $2,000, and this is now about, these are both about $2,000 at the moment in general, in the condition they are, which is about a VF condition. This is the Battleship note, which is another famous note. Now you have to remember that this industry is mostly inhabited by men, very few women. So the notes they like tend to be the Chief note and the Bison note and the Battleship note. Very ordinary looking note on the front, but you turn it over and it's the exact replica of a World War II Texas-class battleship. And men like that, and they'll pay lots of money for that note. This particular note comes to be about $19,000 if you wanted it, again, depending on the gray that's up here.
And if you wanted to learn more about paper money collecting, how would you suggest a person do it?
Well, in today's age, I would just go to the internet and start Googling things. If you can get to a show, that's the best way, because like you can see this person, he's enjoying just looking at the stuff. It's okay just to look. And if you come across something that you fall in love with, that's what you start collecting. You know, don't collect something you don't like. Make sure it fits your pocketbook and make sure it fits what you love. And if you want it to be animals or generals or vignettes, pick a topic and pick a comfortable collecting area. And it served a lot of people good during this COVID. It gave us all something to do that was creative and used your mind. It's a good thing to have a hobby like this.